This is something that T Papa Slice brought up to me earlier this summer. I don't know if you've heard it. The hardcore main man mode. Have you heard about?
I think I might have heard something, but yeah,
So let me just, I am just so obsessed with this idea and I want it to be an official thing. And almost anybody that hears it, there's a few outliers that are like, I hate hardcore, anything, just don't add this. Or people are just completely against a new game mode in general, like, don't add this. But most people that I hear from are like, this sounds insanely fun. So basically, what it is it's a hardcore main. So you don't have any Iron Man restrictions, but you're playing on a separate server entirely. So it's kind of like League's Worlds, there's just worlds that are completely separated from the main game. This would be a permanent game mode. Maybe they could start it off with some seasonal thing just to like gauge people's real interest in it. But optimally, what it would be is a permanent game mode that's on a separate worlds, and everybody on that world is a hardcore main. And when you die, you're completely wiped. Bank, inventory, everything. Your account is deleted from the server. And so this server is, everybody you see playing on the server has never died. And I think the absolute thrill of this game mode would be, one, PVM would, okay, and also let me just add this, is it's the group hardcore restriction. So everything is dangerous, including fight caves, including Inferno, including chambers. Everything's dangerous, and you can use the Grand Exchange freely. You can trade people freely. You can PK freely and steal their stuff. And again, when you kill somebody, they're out of the server. So just think of the wilderness for a second. Like, think about how fucking terrifying it will be to enter the wilderness. Let's just say you get a clue scroll and you're going to risk it all going out in the wilderness to do a step. One, you can't just go out with a spade, because if you go out with a spade, then you're a sitting duck and you'll die, and then your account's just deleted. So you're always entering the wilderness with like everything you can possibly have to defend yourself, which just sounds extremely exciting. Plus, if somebody starts attacking you, there's actually a legitimate debate, like a live debate right there. Like, should we really engage right now? Like, this is
right.
pretty fucking risky. One of us could just lose permanent access to this thing. And then I think of like the clan wars that could potentially happen, because for a fact, if you ever did revs, or if you know about that, the mob starts taking over sections of the wilderness. And on a hardcore mode like this, where clan wars are not, because I did revs for like 3 months straight back in 2018, and we'd have these like huge clan wars happening where we'd be in the rev caves and there's two clans going head to head. There's like 50v50, just ballistaing each other. And when you die, you just instantly like get back over there as quick as possible. This was not like that. Like, when you die, you're out of the server. So the strategy
Right.
involved would be absolutely crazy. So if you wanted to like take over a clan, you got to go into this like a war. I mean, this is like truly like the highest stakes you'll ever see in PvP. And that's just the wilderness. Now we're talking, let's just say you're doing a 3-man Theater of Blood, trying to get a scythe, because a scythe would just sell for absolute bonkers GP, and the swapping rate would be insane. But let's just
Right.
say you're doing TOB, somebody wipes, they don't go to the cage, they're just out of the server, like it's over, like you died. And it's just like that. The high stakes of all this just sounds extremely thrilling. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the picture you painted at the end there is just like I'm picturing, yeah, 50 hardcores versus like 50 hardcores, and I can't even imagine how like intense that would be. Like, I would be all the way at the back, like long range the ballista, and it's just like I wouldn't be able to handle that. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, I mean that just sounds like so much fun. Like, I don't even know where to start. It's just you know that everyone else on the server is in the same boat as you,
Hmm.
so it's just like you've got that camaraderie, and then it's also just like the mutual respect because you're all the same game mode. And
Here's the other cool part. One, I'm obsessed with fresh economy. I'm obsessed with everyone
sure, yeah,
starting off at level 3. So just the beginning of this mode is going to be insane. I mean, you're gonna be running through the stronghold of security at the beginning, and everyone's a hardcore. So you're gonna see somebody drop, they're out of the server, just gone. It's like Hunger Games. The other cool thing is AFKing is extremely dangerous. In fact, there will be some trolls around where, like, if you're AFKing Ammonite crabs, for example, somebody will try to lure a Zygamite over to you because they know every single person around is a hardcore. And so people AFKing, people
Right.
doing stuff, people are going to be trolling you. Just the amount of safety that's required to do like raids and group content and anything like that is going to be just absolutely insane. I mean, just everything. And here's the other thing that I failed to mention initially. This is something I feel like is inevitable. It can seem obnoxious, but I think it's the only way around it. Is just muling in general. I think everybody is going to almost feel required to have a mule because you're going to try to hold all your valuables on that mule. Because if you
Mm.
die on one account, everything's wiped. Your bank was wiped, your inventory is wiped, your account is wiped from the server. So whenever you go to like some insane piece of content that you know you have a pretty high risk of dying, you are going to transfer basically all your bank stuff over to a different mule if you want to continue that game mode because you know you'd make a new account afterward. Let's just say if you did die, but then you haven't lost everything, you know. So I feel like muling will be a pretty common thing. But again, some people just won't care. They'll just see it as like, okay, this is my one time playing this. When I die, it's over. I'm not going to continue. But a lot of people will have that excitement of like, I want to, like, this is the game mode. I just want to play perpetually because it's so addicting and the thrill is so insane. There's so many elements of this. And then again, you don't even need to do dangerous stuff. You could just be a skiller on there and just swap GP. You know, you could just be like, I just want to play on the server, play everything safe.
Yeah, I mean, there would definitely be an opportunity for like the exchanging between the game modes for like probably a pretty long time. So I'm sure like people would definitely jump on that as like a moneymaker to profit in the main game, and then that would obviously bring a lot of like commerce to the server, or whatever. As you were talking about the trolls, it just like it made me think like, dude, like it reminded me how stressed I am the only time I've ever played hardcore. I just like I can't even function because I'm just like constantly paranoid about something killing me, and I'm
Yeah.
constantly like, okay, like I just can't AFK. I'll like log out, and then I'll think to myself, and then I'll go to bed, and I'll think to myself like, wait, did I log out? And I'll like open up my client again, and then I'll do that like two more times, and it's just like
Hmm.
I just yeah, I guess I'm not the demographic for hardcore, but
I'm I'm
even
I'm definitely kind of with you there. Like I'm just hardcore is generally not my cup of tea, but a completely separate server where everybody's dealing with that. Because I used to play hardcore Minecraft, and I liked that thrill. It was a little bit safer because you're not playing an online game where you just like disconnect. It's just like offline. But it would actually be cool if they actually came out with dangerous random events in this server particularly. So nothing like insanely difficult, but just something where like AFKing is a no go and it would also prevent like a lot of bot measures. So if people are botting on that, like there's just a lot more risk. Like this mode would not be something you want to AFK ever. Like there should just be some sort of element of like this is the mode where you focus in on. Again, that could be something that is added or not, depending on how people feel about that. But I think if you're ever going to add dangerous randoms, this would be the place to do it and just bring them back. You know, make it feel like you can't just
yeah, but
successfully AFK shit.
yeah, if you're gonna do it, you may as well go all the way.
Hmm.
I can feel my hands sweating just thinking about that already.
It's such a cool. First of all, it's amazing for Jagex. They would make so much money, and it takes them like no effort to like add something like this. It's just like
Right.
here's a bunch of membership money that people are going to continually make new accounts on. It's just like this is what it's going to be. By the way, when you wipe, I'm imagining what you do is like if you want to continue, you could just use the same account, but it would just be completely wiped. Like here you go. Maybe there could even be like some status next to your name of like how many times you've died or something like that. Something like kind of charming. I don't know,
I
but
like it.
yeah, it just seems cool because it's also not hardcore Iron Man. It's you have access to the Grand Exchange, you have access to trading people, you have all this stuff. So if you wanted to jump into the game mode, let's just say you just wiped and you have some money on over on your main. It's like, okay, I want to have a head start. Let's run over to the Grand Exchange really quick, buy a bunch of shit, and start training up again really quick. And low level PKing is something I think a lot of us did as children. I did at least when I was 9 and 10. Walk up Varrock east, that little
Yep.
pathway up to the multi wilderness, and
Yep.
just fire strike and maple short bow people. And that would be extremely fun in this server because it takes barely any time to level up an account to that stage. And if you die, it's whatever. You can just rebuild it in a matter of hours. But there is that extra element of like the shakes. I would get the fucking shakes as a kid, like being out in the wilderness, like, oh God. But this would be like that on steroids. But it's still just a low level, kind of like low risk, sort of just fun. So people that are really taking this casually can just go out there, have a blast. Everything continues to wipe. So one of the sad parts about that kind of low level PKing is when you do it enough, you eventually just level up out of that bracket. So it's like, okay, well, this account is just like beyond that at this point. But there's the amount of wiping you'd probably do, and just being able to like on a weekend be like, you know what, I want to go do that on this hardcore server and just see how long it can last until I die. The amount of creator content as well that would come out from this
Right.
server would be unreal.
Yeah, that's what comes to my mind initially. Is just I can imagine all the content creators doing it, and it just who wouldn't want to watch that? It's
Yeah.
like you said, it's a brand new server, fresh economy. Like that would just be huge. Everyone's a hardcore. The stakes are high. Like race to max, race to first scythe, Tebow, race to
Mm-hmm.
first 99 or whatever it is, and yeah, everyone's gonna have their eyes glued to the screen for like at least a couple months or
Yeah.
probably more.
I can't really see this server dying because I feel like there will just always be a reason to go back. It'd always be that just excitement that's just calling you back, even if you're not somebody like me that's built for the hardcore game mode. I mean, I purposely made a normal Iron Man for this account that I'm playing right now, and it's like I like that normal, just casual feeling. But man, this server just breaks those boundaries. I feel like it's just like I don't care anymore. Like I want it. It just sounds so addicting.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a try. I just get so stressed